r/AskReddit. Redditors who have a job where they go into other people's homes, plumbers, electricians, etc. What's the weirdest, most disturbing thing you've seen while working in a customer's house? Disturbing? Not at all. Weird? A bit. I was a medical equipment delivery guy for a couple years. Went into a dementia patient's house and had to instruct his caretaker on how to set up a large tank of O2. As I was kneeling down, my phone went off with my really low-key notification tone, which was a singular beep. Well, the pet bad nearby seemed to have taken a shine to that noise and mimicked it perfectly in tone and volume. The caretaker and I looked at one another with her saying, "I've been here for 6 years and he's never done that before." From then on, every time I delivered and knelt down to re-educate the caretaker, SOP demands it, that bad would instinctively ping me until I let my phone notification sound go off, after which the bird would celebrate by bobbing his head up and down and turning in a circle. I never had any interest in birds whatsoever. I mean, I didn't dislike them, I just was entirely ambivalent. Then my daughter got Peanut, a male parrotlet. Now I'm so hooked. They're like little drunk people. He's like 4 inches tall, and he's so fucking ferocious. I love him, like he's one of my children. I mean, he's in the top 3, and I have 4 kids, so. I was a paramedic in Oakland, and once I was in a home where a child has been bitten by a rat in her crib. As we were standing there talking to the mother about her options, a rat walked up to one of the firefighters and bit his boot. The firefighters stomped the rat to death and the rat was taken to the health department for testing. That was a strange situation. My mom tells this story about how after my dad got out of the army, they moved to his home state of Minnesota to live in this cabin by the lake that had been built by his grandparents after they immigrated from Finland. Unfortunately, the property had not been well maintained, and my mom said that whatever they put between the wooden logs to seal them had pretty much deteriorated, and she could see daylight through the gaps. She said she started putting my playpen up on their big coffee table because squirrels would get in the house and climb in with me and steal my bottles. She was not impressed. I delivered pizza, but for older customers I'd always go into their homes to bring it inside for those who were severely handicapped or just didn't have the strength to bring their food inside. One time I delivered to this lady who was covered in cat hair, head to toe, and the inside of her house was rancid. I mean, I couldn't go in there without holding my breath every time. One time I went, and she had in her kitchen on a table a paper plate with what looked like teeth, and I mean a lot of teeth, different colors and shapes, and just horrifically repulsive. Don't know whose teeth they were. From what I could tell she had all if not most. Haven't heard any stories about her since, so I'm guessing she moved or something else. Never will forget that smell though. Ugh. My grandma had a box full of the family's teeth. This dated back several hundred years. Lots of gold fillings and such in them. I'm not 100% sure why, since they apparently didn't try to recover the gold, just kept all the teeth. But I guess the estimate is that the gold is worth a few $1,000s now, including processing. Less if we want to keep the teeth, said the dealer. So, best case scenario I guess. Food bank delivery to homebound elders. I always fill 2 banana boxes, around 1.5 by 3 foot deep, of all types of food, and deliver to his house. One time after delivering to him for 3 years I have to come inside because he hurt his foot. He had never thrown out a single box. They lined every wall and entrance. He built a castle around his bed and a series of paths through his house. It was like thighs pillow forts you would make as a kid, but with boxes. I asked him if he wanted help getting rid of them, and he said no, that it was fun and helped with his dimension. Has super fun. Edit, I'm letting it stay. His dimension? Either you misspelled dementia or has got some mad real estate. I prefer the latter. Dementia. My boyfriend is a locksmith. During the 2008 recession, Las Vegas had thousands of homes that were getting repaired or abandoned. The company he worked for would have him go and change the locks to keep people out, and usually this happened in the middle of the night to limit the possibilities of running into ex-owners of the properties. I sometimes tagged along, mostly to explore some of the ridiculously big houses that people had just left, but helped some of the time. This one house looked totally normal from the outside. You couldn't tell any difference from any of the other cookie cutter, planned development homes. But inside, in every room, there were those timeout dolls. If you have never seen them, they are a doll that stands against the wall with its hands up to its face. And even more creepy, usually they have no face, but they looked like a kid hiding their face or pouting after being put in a timeout. When I say they were in every room, I mean every single room. And not just one, but dozens, lining the walls. Not laying down, but standing up against every wall of the house. The house's electricity had been shut off, so all we had was flashlights. Walking into each room, it did not get less creepy seeing doll after doll. He is already afraid of dolls and this made it so much worse. Altogether we counted 63, but there might have been more. And now I know what I'm doing if I ever get evicted. Figure out which room will be one of the last ones they get to and set up a motion sensor that activates a recording that goes, "Do you want to play a game?" in a creepy child's voice. Bunch of used pregnancy tests on the floor of the teenage daughter's closet. I didn't say a damn word to anybody. Was she pregnant though? I did not inspect any further than to glance at the pile and walk out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so that you can see when I upload new daily content. Goodbye.